These guys are a little under 2.
Mm.
You know, my family has always run very lean.
Yeah.
But you know, like
yeah, no, it's a lot of times it's constitutional, which means it runs in the family. So if you are underweight, doesn't mean that you are sick.
Okay.
By no means. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people are lean and they are healthy as any can be. So
Right.
I wouldn't say that it's any indication of, you know, poor health or anything. Especially if they haven't been sick, which they haven't. I mean, there's some.
Everybody's thriving.
Yeah,
We're all
so,
thriving.
yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay. The reason yesterday was such a big day was because Genji.
We looked up the kids' heights and weights online against the national CDC charts, and we were pleasantly surprised to find that Joan, who is 8 years old, is taller than 90% of boys his age and is the exact median weight of boys his age.
9 months after we went to the clinic and Shell was a little on the low side, her height came up to the top 90% and her weight came up to the average. While Raven's height is a little on the low end, her weight is at the average. And so our children are really doing very, very well, considering the fact that they are completely 100% raw vegans. So in closing, we have tried to cover a lot of ground in this documentary film. I think that raw food is one of the ultimate weight loss diets of our time. We've showed 3 examples of people just within our family who have lost over 30, 40 pounds or more and kept the weight off. I think it's a beautiful way to raise children. Haven't really even scratched the surface in this film of the amazing things that I've observed just in my own children being on raw food and their ability to focus, their ability to absorb knowledge and information. Snow and I are extreme athletes. We do extreme sports. Joan is also capable of doing extreme sports. You know, it's like we do intense hiking all on raw food. The amount of energy of raw food is incredible. I think it's an incredible anti-aging diet. It hydrates you from the inside out. You know, it's just an incredible breakthrough in human existence. And because we do not have the endorsement of the medical community at this time, this question still hangs in the balance.
Is it possible to eat raw, organic, vegan food and be healthy? Well, it's the first thing in the morning, and I got up. I beat everybody up, and shelling peas. It's my favorite time of the day. It's what you might call my quiet time. And I feel like I'm making this movie. You know, we shot over 200 hours of footage. There were so many different takes and so many different ways that we could have done it. And the one thing that I thought might work for the most amount of people is if we sort of show what our family life was like, and the fact that it does work for kids. So I feel like all of y'all have come into our house and that I have a personal connection with you. In showing this movie to some people and getting some feedback, one person said, "Now, you know, this movie is really fascinating. You know, some of your relatives have lost so much weight. You need to go into more detail and tell how they lost the weight and what their diet was, and, you know, like whether they was under a doctor's care." And, you know, and then somebody else said, "Well, you know, you really need to focus on, you know, Gingy and her pregnancies." And I saw that just about everybody who saw the movie had a different take on it, and everybody was right. And that's the problem that we ran into, was that there were so many different ways to do it until we really just didn't have enough time. I could do a 2-hour movie just on the chemicals that they put into our food, the pesticides, the insecticides, and the herbicides, and the effect that they have on brain chemistry, and the additives like monosodium glutamate and red dye number 2, and the effect that that has, the artificial sweeteners. But what I wanted to do was create a movie that celebrated human potential. That was the theme, and I wanted it to do something that was positive. You know, it's like when you look up and you see, you know, like the amount of kids that are being negatively affected by the diet, and the fact that you have all these multi-million-dollar corporations advertising junk food to kids, it makes you mad, and you can rave and rant, and every single thing you say would be true. But I didn't want to do that in this film. So what we have done is we created a bonus feature website where we can go into more detail to cover things that we weren't able to cover in the movie, such as weight loss diet, you know, like how Gingy and Erica and Satya lost the weight, what they were actually eating. We have a bodybuilding section of how you can eat raw vegan food and build muscle mass, you know, because that's important. That, you know, if you have a lot of energy and that you don't be weak and anemic, which is how the raw food diet is perceived. But this didn't have enough room to cover all of this in the movie. So a lot of the information on the website is free. All you have to do is just go to thegardendiet.com and log on. And we have a forum. And there's literally thousands of people in this forum who are communicating with each other, telling about different health conditions, weight loss, transition, all the different things that you experience on raw food. They're talking about their experiences on raw food, so you can see what other people are experiencing as they make this transition. Probably stepped on a lot of toes. It wasn't my intention to be confrontational, but there are a lot of people trying to sell us a lot of things that we don't need. Supplemental companies. We don't really need supplements. I think they might even do more harm than good in a lot of instances, and it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's like, I think you can get all the nutrients you eat from food. So I expect there's a lot of people in the raw food community who sell supplements. So I